Hello. How you doing? Welcome to a new live stream event. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Howdy. So we are playing with Percussa. Yeah. So check this out. I'm going to do something kind of crazy. Let's go like Option init. I could do a whole init, but what the heck? And I'm going to say load that as a groove as a Unify layer. So it just loads all of that into a single Unify layer. And I'm going to just, oh wait, I can do it. I can map it to low C1. I got to transpose it up 24 semitones. And then I'm going to set the latch to mono latch on. There. Now I have a groove. So I can say add a new layer. And I can do anything I want and it's just going to keep playing. And let's see, I want to go to contact. I just bought a new library that's really cool. I'll show it to you. Contact. Hope you're doing good. There's so much to cover today. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's nuts. Okay, we don't need to see the browser, so that can go away. Because I put it into my quick load called Pluck. Let's say, nylon. Let's play with that. Let's do something with that. So let's see. I think I need to sequence the drums in first. So let's go over here and record. Actually, I'm going to do it without latch. I'm just going to hold the note down so that way I can do things. And I'm actually, check this out. I'm going to set this up so that we're on MIDI channel 1. And I'm going to tell this all to be on MIDI channel 1. So it just listens to MIDI channel 1.
Delivery.
Oh! Hi, baby.
Hello.
Taquita's here. Hi, Taco.
Sorry, we're late. We had a fun time. And Athena.
And Athena's here. Everybody's here. Hey, guys. So my girlfriend, Melanie. There's Athena. She's the big version of Taquita. So happy family. Awesome.
All right. Enjoy.
All right, hon.
You want to leave? Take her? Keep her?
Yeah, I'll keep her here.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, can you give me her little blanket over there?
Yeah.
She likes to hang out on a little blanket, so she's cozy.
And I'll get her water.
Athena, you want to talk? Talk.
What do you say? What?
Talk.
Listen to Dad.
Say your words. Hey. Hey. Athena. Come here. Oh, she. Gotta talk. Hey. No. Talk. What? What? Oh, anyway. So, she's not going to talk.
Those kids, they never perform when they want
I
them
know.
to.
When you expect.
Okay.
Oh, a shot glass.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh. So, my sweetheart just brought me a mocha. So, cheers, everybody. That hits the spot. Yay. Hey, so sorry about that small. Okay, so we're back to sequencing. We got this going on. So, I'm sequencing something kind of fun. Okay, so that's a whole lot of fun to play with. And then I need to set this pluck part to be MIDI channel 2 and go up here and hit the keys so I get some different MIDI channels going. Why are you not playing? Say all. I know why. So we go MIDI channel 2 here. This is one of those cases where you actually have to change. No change. It's in Kontakt itself. You have to tell it to listen to MIDI channel. I could say Omni. Huh? Nope. Okay, say MIDI A, MIDI channel 2. And so this is a new library. I want to point it out to you because I've done this from time to time. It's not a bad thing to do. PLCK. It's from a company called musicalsampling.com, and it's really nice. It's called Pluck, PLCK. It's supposed to be $119 and go off sale and become, well, it's $79 right now. It's supposed to be $119 starting on the 30th of September. And we are obviously 3 days past that. So if you would like, let me show you what this is. It's a sample library. You have to have the full version of Kontakt. It doesn't work with Kontakt Player. So you have to own the full version. The best way to get Kontakt is to buy a library and do the crossgrade. Or they do this upgrade where if you own a library that's made for Kontakt, you can do a really affordable, it's a great way to get in, and now you have a library and you get a nice price for it, or wait for the holidays when they put it on half off. But this is an instrument which it has all of these different instruments, and what it has that's unique is it's all based on plucks. So if I click and drag here, even though this is viola, it's not viola, it's Viola Pluck. There seems to be some different takes. What they have is if you play short, it plays the release samples. If you hold longer, maybe it still does, but it's designed for playing plucky things. There's a percussion kit as well, but there's ukulele, which is, oh, I need to, all these things you have to click and drag and answer all these pain in the butt questions. Really replace? Yes, please. So let's play with this. To start with, we have a groove from Percussa. This is the first time it has been made available for Unify and Omnisphere. It's I will be giving you a tour of that in a little bit, but it's 3 separate libraries installed from one installer that includes BPM drums, the BPM multis, which also has BPM kits, and then hits and effects are one-shots of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of samples that were used to make the BPM grooves that are found in the other 2 folders. I decided to do it this way instead of just a sprawling list of 800 patches because it's just so much stuff. But it's truly probably the most adventurous library I ever have done for Omnisphere because it's percussion, all the attack samples from Unify, you'll find them in this library, but it's using the arpeggiators to make rhythmic grooves. So this groove, this is Omnisphere. Let me make sure I'm quantizing the timing where it's going to play now. So let's say just 8th notes. Okay, so we got that going on. Let's turn it down just a little bit. And on channel 2, let's get something from the Pluck library. Let's get something going on. Maybe we'll do minor 7ths. But check this out. I'm going to play it one way, and then I'm going to use Jitterbox to tweak it out. So let's go back here and record. Okay, so we have that. Now, if I play this, unsolo. I think I'm going to do it straight and then add swing to it. I'm at 123, so I should be able to do eighth notes. And then actually, maybe we can just go 8th, 12th notes. That should be a good feel. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to add jitterbox because it's quantized hard. I'm going to go over here to creative and add jitterbox as a MIDI effect in front of it and give it like, oh, maybe like 40 milliseconds since it's fretted instrument. Cool. So you can do fun stuff like this. Let's add some more to this. I want to go in and I'm going to find, I don't have many patches done, but we're in the process. There's another plugin I'm going to show you today too. That's really cool. Sorry for showing you things that you need to buy, but if you want to buy this, it's only $25. It's DCO-106, and it is a really nice emulation of the Juno 106. So let's load this as a patch into layers, put it to MIDI channel 3, and check this out. It's really nice. It also has something like 350 patches, including all the factory presets of a Juno 106. So you can go through this. It's got that vibe. I mean, but I wrote to the guys and have received permission from them. I always check before I do this to make this into a unified library. So in the coming week, Taylor and myself will be working to bring this probably next week, I hope. But if you get it, just know it's coming out in unified format and it's going to be great. I'm going to make some bonus patches, bonus layers, all sorts of cool things for it. So let's go through here. I have some tricks to show you with this too. So actually, let's put this to channel 2 and just see what it sounds like playing along with the pluck. Oh, they got tuning problems. We're gonna have to go in. Go to cycle, have it cycle 8. Let's play it for a minute and see if we can do a quick fix to the tuning. So if you go here to the, not this page, to the group editor, I don't need to see the mapping or this stuff or this stuff. Why can't they tune samples? This is crazy. Well, that's why it's not, I don't know. I had not checked its tuning with other things, but it's out. So let's do this. Instead of contact, sorry, dude, you gotta go. Let's go over here. Let's use Ample Sounds guitar. Hello. Maybe it's... Seems to be from DCO. Interesting. Well, let's do this. Let's get back to Pluck. So we go all favorite instruments. Contact once again. It's the DCO was out of tune. Interesting. So go plucked instruments. That's the mandolin. Maybe now it's in tune. I was gonna say. Yeah, And then we need to get this. Well, I can't tell for sure because I need it. M1 to port 2. Cool. Now let's get a big bass. So let's go down here to the basses. We could try like deep fifths. Load this. I'm just going to load it as layers so that I have access to the plugin without it being in a Unify layer. And option remove because I don't need the auxiliary buses. And I'm going to probably turn everything down a little bit by holding down option and turn. And then go here to the bass category. Now I need to go over here because this is going to be on channel 3. That's cool. Let's see, so I got that. What happened to my groove? There. So we got the sample library playing, we got DCO-106 playing, 2 parts. Cool. But the Pluck library is really cool. So, where do we want to start? My gosh, let's start with the Hey Les, you need to write to me to help you with that, okay? If you need help with downloads, I'm happy to help out, but that's not something we can do here. Can it be loaded within their modular? Probably not in their modular. It's just a plugin format. It's AAX, VST, VST3, audio unit. So let me show that to you to start. Thank you so much for helping create that fun little mix. Man, my dog's making my nose itch. So I've just started to unify some of the patches. I've got a set of parameters so I can so we can play with it. Yeah. So it's got a random LFO happening. So as far as patches go, there's a lot of really usable. I was really impressed with the filter. If you go here to the bass. And that's just one. Oh, it's playing a chord. And, 'cause, 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 ' chord. How cool. So I think that's MIDI learn, stop learning. I don't think that's for the chord. How do you set? I haven't studied how you do a chord. Maybe, or do you control click or something on it? I'll have to read the manual. It has to have some sort of a chord button somewhere. But anyway, let me give you a flow for this. It's really nice. It can be resizable, so you can click and drag to make it bigger. Make sure this looks good on the screen. Bring this down just a little bit more. There you go. And this can go up a little bit more. And just to, I'll announce this a couple of times. There's an event going on tomorrow called Synthesia. And I'm going to be doing live streams at least once, maybe up to 3 times tomorrow for an hour at a time, showing Unify, as if we were at a trade show and you could walk up to my booth type of a thing. And all these companies have produced, there's all sorts of videos, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, Korg Wave State is going to be covered, as well as Minilog XD from Korg, Novation showing stuff, Invulse IK Multimedia is going to be doing Syntronic. My stuff's not up here yet, but I'm planning to do at 2, at 4:30, and at 6 o'clock Eastern time live streams, because I got put onto the list at the last minute for the silver sponsors. So I'm a silver sponsor. I haven't done anything like that before, but my friends at Ilio helped set it all up. So we'll be doing things. So there's going to be also, I don't know how they're going to do the links. I don't know how they're going to set that up, but there will be links provided somehow so that you can go see the various live streams of different events that are going on. YouTube's going to be a buzz with lots of live shows going on for all sorts of stuff. So that's going on tomorrow. Today, I plan to show you DCO-106. I plan to show you Percussa, that's now been unified. And then I've got set up my little Leaf Audio, little scary box. We're going to be making some scary sounds with it. I have some other scary sounds sent from other people. This is your chance in the next handful of days. If you want to send me some scary sounds, batch up a zip, use something like usendit.com, or if you have a Dropbox folder, some way to send to Unify support at pluginguru.com a link to download your samples. Please make sure you know that if you send me samples, you give me permission to put them into a sample library that everybody's going to get to enjoy. I might charge in the future for the sample library, for the license number and stuff like that. But I appreciate everybody that wants to contribute to it and have some fun. We're going to make a library for Halloween called Uniscream. How's that for a good name? Melanie came up with that. I was going to do Uniscary or something like that. And Uniscream is far better, for sure. So that's kind of the agenda for today. And then tomorrow there's multiple live streams. We're going to be showing Unify and all sorts of aspects of Unify and stuff like that, okay? So, yeah, 4 hours ahead of time. What is the link for Synthesia? Here, I'll put it into the chat. It's kind of a funny, my nose itches so bad. Right here, I'll put into chat. I'll also put information into the video description after the video, okay? So let's get back to this. So it's basically a Juno 106. It's a single oscillator. It has the DCO. Here, let's make it. It has a sub, noise, right? And you can set this up over here to do, let's see if it go like this. Oh, it's set to sync. So. So if you set it to certain notes of polyphony, that's LFO for that. There's the LFO. So what pulse width does is it varies between the different shapes of the square, the percentage of the square. It goes back and forth from a narrow square to a big round square. And so you can use that to make pads. You know, everybody says PWM pad. That's with pulse width modulation of the square wave. So. But it's got a great sounding oscillator. That's a little loud. And aliases. The cool thing with the Juno 106 design, just like the Tal Uno 60, which is a Juno 60 clone, they both have a high pass filter, which can get rid of the low end, as well as a low pass filter and get rid of the high end. So you can use these two filters to get that kind of a sound from what would... So you can shape the sound very easily. It has, here's your control for the filter over here for the envelope. So all sorts of keyboard. Can be made. Envelope can be inverted, which is cool if you put this to more of a, let's see if we go like, you know, sorts of cool growth sounds from the negative envelope. Sounds like that can be made. Down here is voice assigned. There's an arpeggiator built in, which is nice. There's some really nice art presets for... Now, it is a little CPU heavy at times, I found. But it sounds really nice. Right? There's chorus, there's delay, and there's reverb, which has 3 different types of Now, the Juno 106 didn't have reverb, so that's extra. The delay is very nice. It has the ability for the dampening to kill high frequency over time. Here it gets darker. That's very nice. Hi, Bernie. Is there any physical location for synesthesia? It's 100% virtual because of COVID. Nobody's getting together in person. So it's only an online event. And so, yeah, I wish it was in person. I actually went, they sponsored an event here in Portland in March. Like literally the weekend before everything closed down that we did. I went and got a COVID test after that because there's like hundreds of people coming in for the show. And then, you know, we realized how contagious COVID is at that point. Oh, I needed that. Okay, so one of the cool things with Unify, as I'm munching away, sorry for eating in front of you guys. That's not my normal thing, but it's just been one of those days. One of the cool things with Unify is we can mono, or we can take anything mono and make it polyphonic. So this is cool because there's a unison mode, which it can get huge. Wouldn't it be nice to play that polyphonically? Well, all you have to do to play anything that's monophonic with polyphony, go into Unify, go to the Midi Effects, and down here is Polybox. And I've set up 4-voice polyphony and 8-voice polyphony already. If you want, you can double-click Polybox, and the pool size is the number of notes of polyphony that you want. And you can go up to 16 voices. So I'm just going to leave it 8. Everything else is fine. All you have to do is make sure that you change MIDI channel to 1 on the layer, and you want it to listen to Polybox. And then the last step is to go over here and you need to make the additional notes of polyphony. Because Polybox, what it does is each time I play a note, it just sends it to the next MIDI channel with the next note, right? So by doing this, setting up Polybox, connecting that layer to Polybox, setting this to MIDI channel 1, I can go over here and I can say duplicate 7 times, and it will make 7 copies of this patch with the same effects that are going on, everything identical. So I now have an 8-voice polyphonic. And they're all straight up stereo right now, right? So let's go to pan. This is one of those things that you can do inside of OBXD, where you can do that very easily inside of Unify just by changing the pan layers. So each note of polyphony is now. And it's freaking huge. So this is taking 5-voice unison. Now maybe I go, oh, the sound's not quite right. I don't want that much delay and stuff like that. We've set this up to be super cool and easy to get back to ground zero, change settings, and then make it polyphonic again. All you have to do is bypass Polybox, because Polybox is going to keep spitting out on different MIDI channels. I don't want it to do that. Hold down Option. See, I'm hello up there. I'm holding down Option on my key, and then I click Init while I hold down Option or Alt on the PC. And that tells Unify a special command. It tells it, erase everything but part 1, but don't change part 1. Keep it whatever it was. So we're back at this place where I can futz it up again. Let's make sure we go to center. I don't want as much delay, so let's bring this down less. Maybe I don't want quite that much feedback, and I want to have... and I want it synced, so we're syncing it to eighth notes. That's better. And I want more notes of polyphony. I'm gonna crank it up, and I want less noise. All right, let's try that. So now that I've messed it up, all I have to do is click the bypass. See, if Polybox is on, here's what happens. You play a note. I play that note. Now there's 7 of silence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, because it's cycling 8 MIDI channels. 5, 6, 7. So, by turning this on, it's now ready for me to go over here and say duplicate again. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because it seems kind of loud, doesn't it? So I'll hold down Option, turn this down. Now the pan is still in the center. Right? Well, let's pan it a little bit. Maybe not too wild, just to give it a little bit of stereo width. And then I'm going to save this because this is one of the bonus patches. So Z, Y-N-T-H. There's going to be a whole group of big unisons. So unison, power, saw. Well, this is square more, I think. And I'm going to say YouTube because we did this during the live stream at YouTube. And it's a synth. And there, save as, save. So I've added a bonus Unison patch. This is something that the plugin itself can't do, but we can do it and save it as a patch inside of Unify. I went through and played the pads. There's some nice ones. None of them play like my pads, so I'm gonna make a whole bunch of pads. This is that same plugin, just with my programming to it. And let's add chamber voices to this. No clicks. Let's turn it down. Turn up the auxiliary effects on the pad. So, it's a great sounding synth, and for $25, it's about as close to a no-brainer as you can get. It's real fun to combine these basses. Say, just load this into a new Unify. And we could say limit this to just B2, so that way we can go over here and say duplicate. But this one here, I'm going to have it go to the top of the range and the bottom note be C. And then open this up and go surfing around to find some cool synth sounds. I could go over here to synth. And why aren't you playing? What did I do? I don't have. Oh. Well. Oh, come on. Don't let me down like that, man. Let's see. Let's go over here to Cherry Audio. DC-106. Something was up. I am in a beta version of Unify, so we are allowed to have things that are sometimes unclear to happen. So let's go over here and limit our range once again to C. So we And let's combine a synth pad on top of this into a new Unify layer. And limit that to C as well. And let's surf for a more appropriate patch. So we go up here just to hear how it sounds when playing. It's got that retro vibe, guys. It's just like, wow. And it cuts the mix really nicely. Let's go over here to Synth Motion Drum Edition. These are really cool 70s drum grooves that are in the library that my friend Frank created. So load this into a new Unify layer. Let's map it down to just C. And transpose it up 2 octaves so that way it plays the groove in the right. Oh yeah. I want to get my skates on. Oh, oh, I need to probably go over here and Unify filter, emulate the sustain pedal, please, because it's interesting. I don't know why that's not working. It should be working, but so let's go C sharp so I can play C. I'm in the 80s, man. So it works really good for this kind of stuff. Now, if we wanted to really mess this up, now let's not do that. That's asking too much of everything. But you get the vibe. It's a really nice sounding synth. It's a little CPU heavy, but for that filter, I'd pay for it because it's worth it. So let me give you the link to Cherry Audio. If you want information on this, it is available right here. Yeah, you know, almost Human League. I mean, you just have to play the parts. Is that my car? Where to go? You know, I don't know their songs off the top of my head. You're getting to be warm on my lap, dude. Takita says, be creative. Let's see here. Is the YouTube live stream title correct? Oh, it set last week's title, I'm sure. Let me fix. Live stream. We were doing DCO-106. First look. Percussa Volume 1 for Unify. There. You guys are distracting me. Okay. So someone is asking about the OBXD's patches. I would suggest just reinstalling the Unify standard library, and that will get you a reinstall that gets the patches in the right place. Probably the easiest way to do that, because we install what we need to get it to work. The location where it is, my gosh, this little dog is getting hot on my lap. Is if we go to Documents in your user folder, you'll find a folder called Disco DSP. And inside of there is OBXD for the banks, skins, all that stuff, right? So, and this is in your users, my folder, my home folder, documents, the Disco DSP. That's where you should find OBXD folder with skins and the banks. Send me an email if you need. The other way is just re-download it from the OBXD website, or like I said, reinstall Unify. That should get it going to you as well. Okay. I hate to say it, but I'm here to show you guys new things to spend money on. Sorry, can't get away from it. There's new things coming up. If you guys want things for creative fun, it's my goal to just share what I find out that might be of interest to you guys. You don't have to buy it. There's no pressure to buy anything, but having being able to make a 4-patch retro sweet thing like this, I mean, we could take it even crazier. Let's go over here. Let's go Midi Effects. Let's go over here. We'll add a MIDI box. And I'm going to link this. I'm doing it this way because I want to link it to 2 layers at once. So I'm going to say MIDI effect for layer 1 for both of the bass parts. So it doesn't play now until I go Unify standard library, go to the basses folder. Let's see if I have a retro bass kind of thing. Bass lines. These are all part of the factory folder. There's this folder right here with all sorts of things. We could say take this up an octave. That's not the right MIDI file. So we can surf through. That's kind of cool. Now here's a cool trick. If you want to get something that's in a Unify layer out of the Unify layer, you can go to the tools here for this instrument layer, right? Select copy and then close that Unify layer. This is one of those things where you've added patches to Unify and you look over here and it now says Unify. And you have to open up that Unify plugin and then open up the plugin interface. I want to have fast access to the plugin. I don't want it to be inside of Unify anymore. I've decided I want to keep this. So what you can do is click this little bullet and say copy the layer and then close and go to that layer and say paste, replace that layer. And boom, it will keep the note assignments for where it was set and everything, but now it's a layer with the plugin instead of Unify plugin. So now I can go to this and let's go over here to bass and off you go. You know, it's just that easy to get carried away and keep building on your idea. Pretty fun. So that is the DCO-106 plugin. I put into the chat the link. It's $39 retail. They have it on an opening price. It's really too good to pass up in my opinion. Yes. If only money grew on music notes. Here. I agree. It's a crazy time to be a musician in the world, isn't it? But music is still the magic healing sauce we all need to get through everything that we're going through. Music is still here for us. So whatever music you like, it touches you, you know? That's the cool thing with music. And if you want creative, cool things to help with making music, that's what we're here for. So DCO-106, no brainer. It sounds great. It can stack. It sounds great together. Now you can even do such things like this sound would be really nice, big in unison and brighter. So let's open up the synth, the plugin Unify, right? Open up the plugin, bring up the frequency cutoff. Maybe we want that's the plate. That's nice and retro. So let's see how this works. I'm gonna actually set it to like, let's say 6 voices of polyphony. I don't want to go out. You can go all the way to 16 notes of polyphony. Once again, MIDI effects, load a preset for 8 layers. Take this layer, connect it to Polybox, and make sure it's on MIDI channel 1, which it is. And then all you have to do is go over here and say make 7 more copies. And just like that, that Unison patch that only plays 1 note can now be used to play. And I did it inside of a Unify layer, so I can close this, and then I can still turn this down to get the right. Pretty cool. So anytime you want, you can take something and make it bigger. Try Unison. It's really nice, okay? So that is the kind of power you have to play with. Unify makes it do more than it can do by itself. I'm playing 4 copies of it, and I could save this and go on to something else just anytime I wanted to. So that's the fun thing we've got here. DCO-106 has a Unison button with spread. It does. I didn't see a spread control. Let's see here. Unify, bypass Polybox. Even up here, hold down init and click, and we get just down to the first layer. It has detune, but I don't see width. Where's width? Oh, stereo width for the chorus. But that doesn't do anything for the actual polyphony. They kept it pretty standard to what these vintage synthesizers did. It was always a mono channel. It was never able to be stereo. Having said that, we can break that rule pretty easily, because when we go over here and we say make 7 copies, and let's turn back on Polybox, I could do the trick where I go through and I change panning. If you want to get even more carried away with what you can do in this situation, realize this: each of these layers is a voice, and each one could be different. You could go in and change filter, resonance. Some have a little bit more noise on it, volume. You could make it so that it's even more unique per note, so that, right? Yeah. So that's what I saw. I didn't see a spread as in Combinator and Reason. I bought this plugin not realizing it's the same as the Combinator and Reason. I would listen to the filter. Cherry Audio did not make the Reason plugins, as far as I know. So I don't think it's the same in character entirely. I mean, all these synths, after a while, they have similar capabilities. This one is just, it's shaped with the tools that we're familiar with from a Juno 106. So you'll do certain programming tricks, getting the wow, all that kind of stuff really easily. That would be maybe hard, if not impossible, with the synths inside of Reason or something like that. So you know, you can pretty much make the same sounds in almost any synth. The way the filter works, the type of filter it is, the way the envelopes work, that's kind of what gives you the characteristics that it's a flexible and it has this type of a shape for the snap of the envelopes. I'm sure it's not identical. I can just, I'm pretty sure. I'm not there testing them, and I'm not going to load up Reason right now. But I think it's unique, and for $29, it's definitely worth having in your toolbox to work with, right? Or $25, I guess, right? Yeah, it's great. Yeah, good. All right, so since Kendall is speaking up, that guy is just a machine. I think he's from the Terminator series or something like that. He's one of the good guys, but he has converted so many of the Unify libraries from Omnisphere format. Even I think you did the Massive Power Pack. Just wonderful. I really appreciate his help. So he did the original conversions to Percussa and then got them to us. And I will tell you, we've probably invested over 50 hours of additional work to get it nailed. I wanted it to be just as if you were playing it in Omnisphere, level-wise, mix-wise, the drum kits, all that stuff. And I even did some things to the drum kits that are extra, where certain sounds are up above and below the range. So let's talk about this for a minute. This is a library of what's called cinematic percussion. So it goes, if you go down here to some of the faster stuff, like the hot jungle tom chase, for this I need to, once it loads, go over here and say, 140 beats per minute. So this is like a... And what this is doing, it's playing Omnisphere, but inside of Omnisphere, for the most part, are new samples that I have created that have been imported in. And they are really cool hits and weird stuff, percussion, and then we've programmed the daylights out of them using Omnisphere's tools so that you have these really cool sounds. If you go to New Detroit, it takes a second to load these up since it's multiple Omnisphere. And then if you solo out the parts, they're cool sounds that you can solo out just to certain parts. And then each one of these, there's a drum kit version, which means I have taken each of those sounds, turned off the arpeggiator, we've mapped them across the keyboard. So you have the kick, and then this one sound. I mapped it up high so you can play melodies with it, okay? This library is a $49 library. It's available this week on a special price. I'm not going to say in the live chat what the price is, but it's a pretty crazy cool price. I will put a link here in a second as soon as I get to it. But I love this library. It's so fun to play with and have cool new alternative kind of sounds to mix with existing sounds. You can do some cool stuff. I'll show you that in a second. So go over here, Percussa Cinematic Grooves, copy, and the price is on the website right now. So if you go to the website, if you own Percussa and you've been enjoying it in Omnisphere, you can log into the pluginguru.com website. We list all the libraries that you can re-download that you've bought in the past. And you'll see there's a new version for Percussa that says 02_Unify Percussa Volume 1. Download it, and there's a folder. And let me show you how that works, because it's kind of tricky, but not tricky. It's actually really easy. What's really cool with this is it's a single file that installs 3 libraries, right? So, okay, we're going to need this in a minute. And let's see here. Where is Percussa? So here is the folder as if you were getting this. And as you can see, there is a Plugin Guru Unify file. You open this, there's a .guru file in here. All you have to do is drag this over Unify and say, okay. And it will install all 3 libraries at once. Boom. And I will tell you something kind of crazy. I think it's about 400 plus megabytes for all the patches without any samples, just because of the amount of data saved into Unify to get all of this to work, to do everything that it's doing, because these are just monstrous amounts of data slinging around all over the place, right? So here's another kind of fun one. Bring up the mod wheel. Brings up the effects. I love this one sound. I bring up effects and stuff when you bring up the mod wheels, so you can have these that happen. They go all over the place. I opened at the beginning with the Imagined Believer groove, which is really fun for this big 122, right tempo. I love his kick. If you wanted, you could just use that kick. Go to the kit version and use this to build something, right? So you have that doesn't sound quite the same as in the groove. I tried to compare all this stuff back and forth. It's a little more open. Interesting. Well, you get 2 versions. If you solo the one on the groove version, oh, you just play short. If you hold down, the filter clamps down. If you play short, I made it so you could do both. Silly programming tricks. My gosh, Skippy. All right, so let's say 2 measures. Let's make a little groove with this really quick. Okay, and boy, that was really productive. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to add some more tracks to this. Maybe I want to use these guys. Okay, and I'm going to turn the snare down and I'm going to change the snare. This is what it currently sounds like, but I'm going to make it short and snappy. I don't want it to ring out. So go over here, turn on the linked parameters that whatever I do here, it does to everything. So now we can try that. Cool. And then I could go over to the standard library. Let's go BPM drums. Let's add a recycle groove. Let's say the sparse version, no pitch change. But I'm going to put this to channel 2 because I'm going to have it play along with some sort of a cool BPM pad that I want to load up. So let's say maybe a chord dance like this, and also set it to MIDI channel 2 so I can play and have a groove play. But I'm going to do this. I think I want this MIDI box to be half time. So instead of 1-to-1, we're going to have it play 1-to-2. That way we're in the kind of the same rhythm thing as what's going on with the groove. So we get the groove going. And it's swinging, and we can't swing quite so much. So let's go like this. We'll go 8th notes. There. And I want this to stick out a little bit more. So let's go to reverb. Let's add a room reverb really quick. So the places you can take these grooves. See? So they all work together. There's so much fun to be had. You can even do things like this. Let's take, I don't want to lose my synth parts that I did, right? So in a case like this, I might do a trick like this. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm going to hold down Option in Logic and drag. That makes a copy of this plugin. So now I have 2 copies of Unify. And then over here, what I can do, I can go to this part here and just reroute it by, I believe you can click, is it here? And you can reassign this track to software instruments. I think this is 3 that we're on now. So I can get rid of the first part, the drum groove part, right? So get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of all this stuff. Because we're going to go surfing for more drum grooves. The MIDI file data is saved right here, so I don't have to worry about losing that. But once I get to the drum groove right here, I keep that, and I need to sequence in my part because I didn't record anything. So let's make this 4 majors long, and let's duplicate this to be 4 majors long. And now on MIDI channel 2. And then these I need to reassign to software instrument 1. So just go like this, reassign. So that way they are now being told to go to a different instrument. So that way I can go to Unify on instrument 1. I could go to this kit, and that's different than instrument 3. And so I think that's going to play. Yeah. And then up here on instrument 3. So we can record that. Okay, so we have our little we have two parts. We have two Unify plugins playing. We've got the groove. And then down here we have the other Unify. And then at this point, I could go to Unify instrument number 1, right? This is playing the Imagine kit. I could go to this library, which has all these grooves. After every groove is the kit version, where it just maps those sounds. So if I just load up different kits, let's say this kit, see what it sounds like. I have no idea what it's going to sound like, but it could be fun. Going for the noise. So you can get into all sorts of cool alternative rhythm parts to layer with standard drums to get all sorts of cool things. And if I wanted to get more tailored to this, I could say Control M to mute these parts and move it away, and then just sequence something new based on the notes for this kit, right? Because they're different notes. So I could go. Add to that. Let's go down here. So now we have something that's cut here. So all sorts of fun places of experimenting can be taken place. Again, to use Percussa, you need to own Omnisphere and Unify, and then own the Percusso Library. And that gives you the keys to the city, my friend. Now, the library itself, I have divided into 3 libraries. So I've shown you a little bit. There's, oh my gosh, something like over 50 of these grooves plus kits for all sorts of things. If we go Black Magic Bank Heist, and if I say 140 beats per minute, so let's say 140. Pretty unsettling. And Mod Wheel Up quite often give you alternative grooves. So, and then the kit version gives you all those sounds mapped across the keyboard in the middle of the keyboard range for So it's fun sound design meets cinematic drums. Very unique library. There's, like I said, 3 versions of the library. The BPM drums is just the elements from all of those grooves. There's, how many are in here? Reveal in the Finder. 281 grooves are inside just this elements folder. And as you can see, they're divided into low, mid, and high, being 3 different frequency spectrums. So high would be where you'd find cymbals, hi-hats, shakers. And right click and add into Unify all day long and get all sorts of cool things. You go to mids. Let's get low. Let's go fireball. Lazy boomer. And let's go down here to mids and add a couple mids like closing gates. So you can make grooves. From all of these elements. I mean, it just gets crazy. Cinematic and dance stuff all combined. Things that shouldn't be put together are put together. Let's add a snare-ish. So you have this where it's just random mayhem, mix and match, have a good time with all these elements. Then you have the multis where these are the multis that we made that all those elements are coming from. And if you say, you know, Guardians of the Mini Market at 160 beats per minute, you're going to get this 160. And then below that is the kit version where you have just the kit mapped out of those. So you can make your own MIDI file grooves, do all that kind of stuff. And then finally is the hits and effects. And these are one shots. So, and I put tuned for all the sounds that are tuned. And if these sound familiar, all of these are included in Unify already. If you go to Unify empty and let's add Unify Guru Sampler. If you go right here to, instead of basic waveforms, Del Norte attacks. These attacks are all percussion sounds. Let's see, that's a Woody-ish 64. I don't know which one it was. It's probably one of the Congo ones. So if I go down here to... It's in here somewhere. But anyway, those same hits are found inside of the Guru sampler. But now they've been used a couple places. They originally showed up in Mega Macho drums. And then I pulled them all out and made them attacks for Del Norte. And I've used them also in Percussa as percussion elements for these grooves and stuff. So it's fun to make samples and then find different ways to use them and repurpose them and stuff like that, right? So that was good times. Any questions that you guys have? You're gonna have to come down here. Let's see. And then finally, the last thing on our list today to play with is sound design. I have this really cool thing. It's turned on as we speak. Oh yeah, the shortcuts and stuff. We need to do that. We need to document all the different shortcuts that are inside of Unify. We keep adding new ones too, so that's fine. Any love for OS X 11? We haven't started testing OS X 11 yet. Our understanding, other companies are finding pretty serious incompatibilities. So I would suggest not going to OS X 11 if you do anything on more than just a casual, oh, it doesn't work. Oh, it's okay. It's okay if I wait a couple months till it works, you know. Because that's where we are. Anytime you do bleeding edge updates to systems, you're asking for all sorts of disappointments. So I would avoid that if I were you, just because that's not fun. And especially if you're trying to write music and you're working on projects and stuff like that. Apple is changing lots of stuff in OS X 11. So it requires everybody to adjust. It's kind of crazy what Apple does to us, and we let them keep doing it. So for I'm working on a library that I'm going to be releasing the samples for next week. So if you want to get in on this, you need to get samples to me in the next probably 4 days after Monday or Tuesday of next week. That will be too late to send me samples, okay? ESC has sent me some samples. I've got these really cool Mayan samples and stuff from Kendall Cochran, and I'm going to be making sounds. I've made some already. We're going to make some here in a second. Let's do this. I can show you some of the sounds that we have so far to give you an idea of what we're looking for. Just cool, spooky sounds. They could be either weird synthesizer sounds, or they could be really weird, just hits and booms and breaking glass and or screams and all that kind of stuff. So let's do this. Let's go over here. First up is, oh, bless you. Let's see, we got some single hits. So we get these over here and say contiguous starting on C1. So we have, that's nice. Cool. Then we have some other samples. We'll start these at C sharp. Let's see, D sharp. Cool. Some synth sounds to make some cool synth effects and synth patches. We have mind sounds from Kindle. These are really cool. So we're going to say continuous starting from D sharp 2. And the way I'm deciding that is because my last sample is at D2. So I just say D sharp 2. And now I have. So, yeah, you're getting scary. Don't say. And then we need to add, this thing is really cool. So I ordered this when I saw that they were available. I can go over here and I can enable, let's see, so we go to Logic and we say, I actually need to enable 3 microphones. So let's go over here and say, plus for audio, I need to have 2 tracks. Input 6, I believe, is the direct input on this, and then I need to have stereo. These are 3, 4, so I go stereo 3, 4. I have my Rode NT55s right here. Here are all sorts of nice noises. So I'm doing this without worrying about audio quality right now, just to show you guys how to do stuff like this. But what I'm doing is I have both the direct mic. Oh, you gotta get a little bit more mic cable space so it can come down comfortably there. So I have this. One of the cool things on this is it has these metal pieces. Can you guys see this all right? Let me see if I have to adjust my camera and stuff. Oh, I should go like this. And I can hold this up like this. It's like I'm going to be playing it and bowing it. And so let's get the microphones up like this. So I can do really cool sounds like that. I'm going to just play with it for a second. So I'm going to turn off my microphone. And I'm going to be recording from these mics down here. So I go, and I need to mute this stuff up here, right? So just go Option Control M. We don't want it looping, and we don't want any clicks. So once I start recording, turn off click so I can just I keep hitting things. Okay, so I got that. Let's turn that into something. Let's go over here. All right, so, oh, didn't it record that? Oh, I didn't record it. I didn't arm the tracks. Oh, silly me. Okay, one more time. I'm gonna get this set like this so you can see what I've got, right? And let's turn, that's on input. These are on record, so this time I'll do it right. All right, we're recording audio now. And then we'll play some of the things like this. And then I have a little scratcher here. It's got sandpaper, which makes it really cool. Okay, so that should be sufficient to make a couple scary sounds. Turn off record. So first thing I want to do is find what I want to play with. Probably one of these. Yeah. So let's just say Command T. Move all other stuff later. And this stuff, probably don't need that. So I want to record that and see what else we got up here. Okay, I like that one. So I'm going to adjust my sample start to there. That was cool. So Command T. So I'm picking out the pieces that I want to work with, right? And then we'll play some of the things like this. Let's just keep that. And then I have a little scratch. And then I have, so there's two samples I can play with from that. Again, I'm doing this lightning speed without worrying about audio quality. I have a little scratcher here. It's got sandpaper, which makes it really cool. Right? Okay. So that should be. So I have these sounds. Now, to make them scary, you'd probably want to do processing. Whether you do processing now or after the fact is up to you. I'm going to do it now so that I can bounce this out with some scary stuff on it. So these types of sounds with reverb is always really cool. So I'm going to give it some space, and I'm going to go over here to these two guys and assign them both to auxiliary 1. Actually, let's say auxiliary 4, and both at 0 dB. And then auxiliary 4, we're going to have that be stereo. And let's go to audio units, and let's use like, you can use any of the effects that you have. I have so many that it's crazy, but let's do supermassive. See what this sounds like to have this be warped. Lots of feedback, lots of density. It has to be 100% since it's on a mix bus. There, already, that's cool. Right? So you can set up, I mean, I can do all sorts of additional things. Let's put black hole after Valhalla shimmer, so it goes from there into black hole. So we go Eventide. Black hole is a nice cool effect. Let's go back to the beginning. There. Now, since I made that longer, I'm going to need to move my samples later so that I let things ring out a little bit more, right? Okay. Now, I'm going to go over here and quickly bounce. So I go back to my master output settings. Turn off my mic 1 second. Okay, I have made a scary stereo file from sounds that I've made and then turn them in. So now I could, at this point, what I would do is I would open it in DSP Quattro and pull it out into separate files and save them as separate audio files. But I can do really quickly if I go up here to instrument. This is EXX24, so we could say EXX24, edit. Let's play the scary, and I'm gonna like just scrub around. If I double click this, let's do this. Let's first of all go over here. We want to give it some sort of enveloping. So I can play with that. If I double click this, I'll be able to see the audio file. So I can like zoom out to show you everything I have to work with. If I go down here and change the sample start to this. And then you can say, how's that sound? Pretty cool. So that's a keeper for sure. Here's the kalimbas. Just by one recording, you can now play this up and down the keyboard. That's the fun thing with sampling is once it's recorded, you can manipulate it. Here's the lower tone or the higher tone. And that reverb you hear doing different things to the sound. Pretty cool. And then the scratch. What do you think we could do with a scratch? This is probably the coolest thing in my opinion to play with. If maybe not this one, I might have to play it with like different elements and so forth, but with a scratch. Go like that, turn on loop. Where's my loop? So got to go view, show my loop parameters. This is the old version of Logic because I have an old computer. So this is not the cool spiffy, but loop. We can say loop start at where it starts and where it ends. Let's see, how does that look compared to? So here's our loop points. So we could say, no, you want the loop end. Not there. Yeah, somewhere in here maybe. And turn on crossfade so that it tries to smooth it out. And then this is the type of stuff that you can turn on the filter, and all sorts of different filters will give you all sorts of different and just taking that and let's combine that with Unify. But let's have Unify play like some cool, stark, scary pad. So we'll go down here to the pads. Maybe one of the rain pads would be cool. Like, where is it? Oh, when will fresh air arrive? That scratching is a really cool element to add. When you're going for scary things and stuff like that. So, that was a fun little productive thing. So we made some sounds. I'm going to make some more sounds. I have a whole bunch of light bulbs downstairs to break. Woo! Can't wait. Good times. How did that go? Did you guys like that? Was that helpful? Please include the voices from some whispering children. That's you guys, I don't have, my daughter's 19. So she wouldn't be the one to be, give me candy, candy, candy. If you guys have kids, use your phone. The recording quality on your phone is totally sufficient. Put your phone up to your kids and have them go, give me candy. I want candy now. Give me candy. And send it to me. And we will put it into the library and it would be really fun. So let's give it a week. You guys have this coming week, okay? Let's not make, oh, Don, jeez. Let's say 1 week, because we've got till the 10th. And then after that, I'll get it to you. We've got a week of programming, patches and stuff. I'll have it all mapped out. Well, no, we need to really do it faster than that. You guys need to be kind of speedy. So let's say the 7th, because that gives me 8th, 9th, and 10th to get everything mapped sample-wise, because I'm going to give you guys all a .guru file to install all these samples, okay? And then you get to play with them to make patches. I'm going to make patches. We can all have fun making scary what is it called? Uniscreen. So we got to get a cool scream face or something like that. So yeah, if you want to be a part of it, it's really fun to record sounds, put them in huge reverb or make them dry, because we can add reverb after the fact as well. But sometimes it's really cool to have a sound where you put the reverb in the sample, because as you notice, this sound as you tune it down, the reverb is tuned down too. And so it can become this really cool effect. Right? Especially because this is with a high pass filter, so you know, you can find the right frequency point. And you can just send me the samples. We'll do the sample mapping, all that stuff here. So don't worry about that. Okay? So make some scary sounds. Let's have some fun. This is something the Guru Nation has done in the past as like a patch library for things. But with Unify, we can do so much more. So let's make samples, and we'll make patches, and we'll make sequences. I'll teach you guys how to set it up to have your own MIDI file folder and stuff like that. It's going to be lots of fun. If you have questions, Unify support at pluginguru.com. You can email us. That's also the place to send your samples that you create. Oh, that's where it started. Oh, yeah. Bernie's saying that he met people, programmers and stuff from when we did this a couple years ago for, it's like 3-4 years ago for Boo, for the Boom library, Boombox library. That's right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out. Now I'm going to be doing, I told Roger and the people at Ilio I will do 3 live streams tomorrow. It might just be 1. I don't know what they'll give me time slot wise, but we will be here. The time slots being 2 o'clock East, which is 11 o'clock here in Los Angeles, West Coast time. So 11 o'clock West Coast time, 1:30 West Coast time, and then 3 West Coast time, which is 6, 4:30, and 2 o'clock East Coast time. Okay? Do our shout outs. Yes, it's shout out time, but we'll be playing with Unify and showing all the cool abilities of Unify. Good stuff. Thank you all for joining. This is a good hang, good time. Shout out from PDX. Oh, cool. Good to see you, Eastsides. Lancaster, UK. Yes. And it's fun because we're bringing samples from all around the world together. So if you guys in different countries than the United States send us some samples, Bernie sent samples. These are from Belgium and from Amsterdam and stuff like that. So it's awesome. I just got here, Jamie. Hey, well, rewind it and watch it again once the live stream's done. It'll start at the beginning. We're showing DCO-106, which is a new synthesizer from Cherry Audio that's $25, which is just crazy. But they hope to sell lots of copies, which I think they will because it's very good. And then we show Percussa, which is now available for Unify. And here is the link. It is $25. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, but I did. Okay, it's half off for the coming week. October 10th, the sale ends, but right now Percussa is available at a crazy half off price. So if you don't own it, it's cinematic percussion. It's not a lot of playable keyboards and electric pianos and basses. It's not that at all. It's cool new percussion, sound design, synthesis stuff in Omnisphere using samples of percussion and sound effects. My friend Robert Dudzik contributed a whole bunch of really cool cinematic hits and crazy things. So if you go to Percussa to where are they? The easiest way to find them would probably, I don't know if I did that's one thing I probably should have done. I didn't make let's see. There's all of these really cool, we used them. See the full names. Where did we do that? Yeah, I should have made a kit with those because they're really, really cool. Huge cinematic crashes. He dropped cars from like 12 feet up. And it's just crazy stuff. But they're in the library. There's a whole lot of other drums and stuff from Mega Macho and Super Macho drums that are in the library. So they're all used to make new rhythmic percussion things for Unify, or for Omnisphere. And then Unify has got them. So that what's fun with this is you can take these grooves and call up something like this. Slow it down tempo-wise. Oh. I guess I can't change tempo. Oh, come on. Let me do this, please. There. You can slow it down because it's all sequence-based, right? You go in here and choose another library, right click, add it into Unify as a layer. So it's loading multiple Unify Omnisphere, it's loading multiple Omnisphere. Go up here, choose something else. Let's see if we can play 3 Omnisphere multis at once. This could be kind of fun. So cinematic transfer. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So you can mix and match either complete grooves or the elements, because there's also the BPM drum elements library that comes with the library. So all good stuff. Let's see, where else are we talking from? We got Steve in Oregon. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining. Again, live streams happening tomorrow too. So if you want to come hang out and say hi, it's totally fine with me. See you guys tomorrow. All right. So be well, be creative. Thank you for support. Cherry Audio, I'm sure they thank you for your support if you buy their plugin. And we will see you in the next live stream. Okay.